Happy Saturday. It is Christine with Gauge Girl Training, an online meal planning and coaching service. Pardon me while I get situated here. And as you guys know, we are almost through January. It is January 27th. And today I wanted to spend some time chatting with you guys about mindset. And you guys know I make lots of sciencey videos. I make so much content, good morning, but I always come back to mindset. And mindset is so crucial because anybody in an instant can get a jolt of motivation. Good morning, Ayana. And if you are enjoying this, please give the live stream a thumbs up and please comment where you are from. So here's the thing, my friends. Anyone can decide, okay, I'm going to commit to something, right? But here's the problem. The problem is going to come down to the thoughts you tell yourself every day and how those thoughts are reflected in your daily habits. It is Christine Hronik, food scientist and chemical engineer. I am a food scientist, chemical engineer, and I am also a health coach. And I really want to spend time this year talking and digging deep about a growth mindset compared to a fixed mindset. And this is a game changer. I know so many of you have the desire to lose weight. You have the desire in your heart to get in better shape. You want to, let's say you want rounder glutes. Let's say you want a flat stomach. Let's say you want toned arms. Like whatever physique aesthetic you're going for, you have the desire to have a certain aesthetic. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the problem is, success begins with believing that you can. It sounds so underrated and it sounds so basic, but how many of you watching this truly believe that you can do anything you set your mind to? I know that underneath the surface that there are mindset habits and patterns that we need to break apart and reprogram to get you succeeding and to get you growing. So the first thing I want to talk about is when you just tell yourself like, man, I can't do this. Like let's say you do something for a couple days or a week, and in that few days to a week, it feels hard, right? It feels hard. It feels overwhelming. It feels like you're missing out on fun stuff. Like you're hungry, you're tired, your body aches, and you're like, I can't do this. But the thing is, instead of telling yourself, I can't do this, you need to tell yourself, I'm still learning and I'm going to keep trying. Because one element of starting a fat loss journey that is highly underrated is the fact that your body is going to be experiencing a detoxification in the beginning of that process. So specifically, many of you will experience sugar detoxification. Many of you will experience maybe cutting back on like caffeine. You're going to experience some withdrawal. And the first week or two can be really miserable. And I'm going to keep it 100% with you guys. When your body is used to getting just bogged down with these very calorically dense, high carb, high sugar, highly refined style meals, it can be really hard, really hard to feel like it's worth it because it just feels hard. But I need you to remember that you have to keep trying, that there is some science to what your body is experiencing, and it's going to be better on the other side. So the next thing that I want to remind you guys of is how many of you guys watching this fear failure? Who fears failure? Failure is a big one. So many people don't start something because they're afraid they're going to screw it up. They're afraid that they're going to have to say no to something. How many of you, you don't really want to say no to alcohol. You don't really want to say no to your favorite snacks. You don't really want to say no to whatever is convenient and whatever fits your mood and whatever you're kind of in the feeling for in the moment. G Magnolia, yes. Like that thought and feeling, because you know what it is? You're projecting pain. You are telling yourself in your brain that if I eat healthy, if I eliminate these foods and snacks, I am going to feel hungry, I'm going to be missing out, I'm going to have cravings, and as a result, that is going to hurt. So you're projecting pain. Does that make sense? And when you really look at it for what it is, 9 times out of 10, you're fine, right? 9 times out of 10, you're perfectly fine. But you have to stop telling yourself that this is going to hurt. You have to stop telling yourself that if I do this, I'm going to be missing out. In fact, it's actually the other way around. When you are getting the nutrients you need, when your metabolism is functioning better, when you are getting good quality sleep, when you are exercising regularly and your skin is glowing and you're more agile and you have more energy and your mood is improved and your libido is higher and your body isn't so bloated and congested and your lymphatic system isn't just toxic and backed up and you're having these regular bowel movements, like, you're gonna feel great. Actually, it's the other stuff that actually is going to make you feel like crap. And if you keep telling yourself in your mind, this is too hard, that is a fixed mindset. You have to stop telling yourself this is too hard. Instead, you need to start telling yourself that, you know what, with practice, I'm going to get better. And I know that as women, we have a tendency, and I hate to say this, I'm not trying to call anybody out, we have a tendency to complain a lot. We have a tendency as females to bitch and moan and gripe about just about everything. And I see it early, I see it often. Heck, I do it myself at times. Who here knows that they need to cut back on the complaining? And I mean it sincerely. Like, I'm not trying to make fun of anyone, I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad, but like, if you had to go an entire week without complaining, heck, go an entire day without complaining, that would probably be hard for some of you, would it not? Like, that would take a lot of conscious effort to not vocalize your gripey moods and modes. And it could be complaining about anything from, I don't know, your bills, to your boss, to a coworker, to your kids, to a family member, to a friend, to something not fitting you right. Like, we have to get out of the habit of complaining and saying and telling ourselves in our brain, this is too hard. Instead, I want you guys to start saying, you know what? With practice, I'm going to get better. Because guess what? Number one, that's a fact. But number two, you have to feed your mind these positive feedback loop inputs. Because garbage in, garbage out, if you keep telling yourself all the time, this is too hard, I suck, I can't do this, nothing fits, I'm disgusted, and the list goes on and on and on. Instead, you need to be like, you know what? I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm going to keep trying. Or, you know what? Mistakes are opportunities for me to grow. Or, you know what? I'm not there yet, but I'm going to keep trying. Like, try one of these mindsets on for size and watch how much success you will achieve in 2024 with your health goals. I need you guys to know, like, if you don't know how to do something, right? Maybe you don't know how to eat healthy. Maybe you don't know what foods you need. Maybe you don't know what foods are good for you. Maybe you just don't know and it overwhelms you. If you don't know, you need to know in the back of your mind that I can learn. I can learn. I can find people that can help me. I can seek out help. I can get assistance. Because guess what, you guys? I do this for a living. I have been doing nutrition coaching, creating nutrition protocols for 11 years. I have worked with over 50,000 clients worldwide. Let me tell you something. If you have an issue with your tooth, do you try to deal with it yourself? No, you go to the dentist. If there's an issue with your car, Do you try to fix it yourself? Unless you're handy, that's great. But what do? You go to the mechanic. There's a problem with your health and your nutrition and your eating, and you're not where you want to be. You should go to a nutritionist. And I would love to help you guys with this. So, with that being said, if anybody needs guidance with their nutrition, I have extended my winter sale for one on one online coaching. It is 50% off of the one on one online coaching packages starting at 12 weeks. I literally have like one or two spots left, but I've extended it because in my heart, I feel like there's probably someone special out there who really needed to hear this message, who really needs some TLC, who really needs to get their head in the right space to support growth, because success begins with believing you can. And yes, you need to eat the right things. Yes, you need to do the right workouts. Yes, you need to put in the work. But at the same time, you really need to be monitoring your mindset. And I can't emphasize this enough because I see so many people with all of the talent, all of the ability, all of the capability on the planet, great genetics, but yet their head is just not in the game, and they just tell themselves such toxic things. I have a client who is a mother of two, and she is a single mother of two, and she has gained some weight. She is not happy with her body, especially after her second child, and she doesn't feel like herself anymore. Nothing fits. And she used to be, in the gym, hitting the weights, meal prepping. She was on top of it with her steps. She had her weighted vest. Like, she was on the ball. And now, every time we connect, she tells me how gross she is, how disgusted she is, how she just can't find the time, how she's struggling, how this. And I'm telling you, my friends, I know without a shadow of a doubt that if she worked on her mindset, and obviously I encourage her in those things. Hey, good morning, Shay B. She would be further along, because the thing is, you guys, you have to stop giving up. You have to begin. In order to have a growth mindset, you need to start welcoming feedback. You need to start saying, you know what, I can learn. Let me tell you guys something. Who here has made a mistake with their nutrition? I'll be honest, this past Monday, Tuesday, I fell off track with my nutrition. It was intentional. I could have planned better. It was a mess. It was a mess. And here's the thing. If you make these mistakes, it can be really easy to be like, man, I suck. I failed. I am wasting my time. Now it's going to take me longer. Now I got to lose all that weight before I lose this weight. Like, it's so easy to get into this defeated headspace. But instead, you need to remember that mistakes are learning opportunities. Instead, you gotta, how many of you guys really take the time to ask yourself, let's say you overate. Let's say maybe you had like a bingy day for whatever reason. And as a result, you feel awful after the fact. And how many of you take the opportunity to reflect, you know what, like, why did that happen? Maybe you didn't plan ahead. Maybe you got in an argument with somebody and you were triggered. Maybe your house is a mess, and when your house is a mess, it makes you tense and anxious. And when you get tense and anxious, maybe you want to snack on something. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? Like, when something goes wrong, stop having this mindset like, oh man, I just want to sweep it under the rug. I'm just going to move on. I'm just going to do more cardio. I'm going to drink more water. I'm going to just get it back together. And that's great. Like, get back on track. But you really have to understand yourself, and you really need to break down and understand your habits, your why. Like, why did I do that? Why did I not plan ahead? What can I do better? What happened? Like, break it down. And I mean this sincerely, because Every time you don't take that opportunity to really sit with it and break it down and really learn, like, why did I do that? You're going to keep repeating that same mistake. And you can't avoid these challenges for fear of failure. Instead, I want you guys to engage in challenges to improve. So, a perfect example is in the gym. You need to push yourself to go further in order to grow. So, for example, if you're afraid that you won't be able to lift a certain amount of weight, guess what? Oh, well, the worst that can happen is you can't do it. Like, and if you can't do it, just back down. But the thing is, you have to challenge yourself. You have to see what you're capable of. And if you never try, if you never dip your toe in the water, if you never try to rein in your nutrition, because you guys, the real reason you guys are not where you want to be with your health goals lays in your daily habits. It's your daily habits. It's the things that your go-tos. And you're only fooling yourself. We all have ticks, right? We all have behaviors and grooves and moods and things we do that are not the best for our health. And the thing is, it can't be the types of things that you do once in a while. It's the stuff you do all the time. So if you really want to break down how to be successful with your fat loss in 2024, we have to break down your daily habits. And when I'm working with my one-on-one coaching clients, one of the first things that we do is we really talk about, all right, what time of day do you realistically see yourself committing to working out? We anchor that and we schedule it, because it can't be this floating nebulous thing that doesn't get pinned down in your schedule. And for instance, for a handful of clients that I'm working with right now, I have a goal for them where it's like, you know what, your workout needs to be done by noon. Or one person, I have her workout needs to be done by 9 a.m. because if it doesn't get done by that time, it's not going to get done. So scheduling that is really, really important. Other things is meal timing. Other things is figuring out, are you going to meal plan? Are you going to plan ahead? Are you going to track as you go? Are you going to do a hybrid of the both? And who here is super busy? I'm talking like your work week is crazy. Do I have anybody who just, you're on the move, you are on the go? If I have anybody here in that boat where you're busy, like you are a busy person, and I get it and I see it all the time, you would be doing yourself such a great service by meal planning. And guys, it's not even about dieting or weight loss per se. Number one, you're going to be more organized. Number two, your energy is going to be more stable. Number three, you're going to actually save yourself time. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because you're going to save yourself time because, yeah, okay, maybe 2 hours on a weekend to meal prep may seem like a lot. But imagine the amount of time you're going to spend 7 days a week if you're cooking and cleaning and prepping 3 meals a day from scratch. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's just the efficiencies that you are not gaining. And then the cost. Guys, like, eating out has become so ridiculously expensive. Like, especially like eating something healthy. Is it just me? Does anyone else feel like the cost of eating out, like just a basic meal, like I think a bowl at Chipotle right now, you're easily spending like what, 13 bucks just for like a basic lunch, with might even be closer to 15, it depends on what you get, but like that's just a basic lunch. That is no drink, that's just the bowl. That doesn't include, like, that's not like a sit down like dinner experience. That's like takeout. Like, I think someone even told me like McDonald's is like 10 bucks. Like, and again, it's relative to your budget and your resources, but like the cost of food, especially eating out and having it prepared for you, it's just gone through the roof. It is so expensive. And then has anyone here used like Uber Eats or DoorDash or any of those types of services. So my go-tos, because I will order out on occasion for the convenience. I like Bonefish Grill. They have a really nice grilled salmon that I get with broccoli and some jasmine rice. I like, there's like an Asian spot nearby me where I get like the steamed chicken and mixed vegetables. I'll get some hot chili oil on the side. I say no brown sauce. I ask for it steamed, then I'll get some rice. And those are like probably my two like go-tos when it comes to ordering out. Again, I'll probably either get like a salmon because it's good quality, and then same with the steamed chicken meal. And I'll typically get like a wonton soup with it, but just that meal alone, you guys. So I was running errands the other day and I said, you know what, I'm not going to have it delivered. I'm just gonna go pick it up. And even for me to have it picked up, like there's none of the fees with the driver and the tip and all that. Even that, just for one lunch, it was $27. Just for one lunch. Like, what? And if I had the delivery and all the fees, it's probably somewhere between 35 and 40 bucks. Like, let's just round up to 40 bucks just for one meal. So my point that I'm trying to make, my friends, is if you meal plan and plan ahead, you're going to save time, you're going to save money, you're going to have stable energy, you're going to have like, you don't even have to think, because how many of you get so bogged down mentally by like, well, what am I hungry for? Like, what am I in the mood for? And then you spend so much time thinking about it that you don't know what you're feeling. Like, it's just a waste of cognitive energy, in my opinion. And I encourage you guys to be more decisive with this type of stuff, because if you want to grow, you need to really look at these opportunities to improve. And for example, like if you're constantly bloated, if you have stubborn hormonal belly fat, if your body is inflamed, if it hurts for you to like bend over or walk up a flight of steps, or you can't keep up with like activities and stuff like that, like that's a problem. That's a major problem that needs to be dealt with. It needs to be dealt with. And I encourage you guys, like I said, I've extended my one-on-one coaching package. That discount for my winter sale is 50% off if you want me to coach you personally. And G Magnolia says, that's why I love your shred program, because it makes it easy not to think about what to make for my next meal. And there's just so much value in like just being told what to do and just doing it. And if you guys have not yet checked out my new 6-week shred plans, the 5 ingredients or less programs, oh my gosh, you guys, like I launched these on around Thanksgiving. I launched them on Thanksgiving, and again, it's 5 ingredients or less, and I put so much thought into making the meals simple, making them affordable, making them quick, because I don't know about you guys, but like when there's so many ingredients, we're like, I was looking up because I want to make some protein muffins, right? And I'm going to do that this weekend. But I found this recipe online. I'm like, oh, this looks good. And then I looked at the recipe and it said 32 ingredients. Like, hell no. Like, I don't care. Like, I am not buying 3 types of flour. Like, do you know what I'm saying? And if you are just joining us, we are talking about a successful mindset for fat loss in 2024. We've been talking about a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset, about ways to improve your thought patterns so that way you can be successful with your goals. And right now we are specifically talking about planning ahead with meals. And planning ahead with your nutrition is going to be hands down the best possible thing that you can do. It's going to change everything, because my friends, 95% of this is diet. Yes, I need you in the gym. Yes, it's going to help your muscles and all of that stuff, and that's wonderful. But if you're not eating right, you cannot compete with what you eat. You can't compete with what you eat. I'm going to say it again. You can't compete with what you eat. I tell my clients this all the time. I would rather you skip a workout, get one less workout in per week, and use that time to meal prep and get organized with your food than to have you do that extra workout. Because here's why. If you do, like, let's say you work out 7 days a week, 6 days a week, whatever. Let's say you're going hard in the gym. If your nutrition is trash, it doesn't matter. And yes, guys, before everyone comes at me and comes for me, I am not saying that working out is bad. I am not saying this in a black or white sort of way, but what I'm saying is that if you don't have your nutrition down, you're not going to see results. Is there a reason why I'm skinny even though I eat a lot? Perhaps you have a high metabolism. Perhaps it depends on what you're eating. I mean, eating a lot doesn't necessarily mean anything. Hey, poetry girl, what's up? Like, you could be eating a lot of kale. You know what I'm saying? And eating a lot is relative, if that makes sense. So if you are just joining us, we are discussing how planning ahead with your meals is crucial, how that saves time, it saves energy, it saves money. It makes sure that you are going to be successful. And here's another reason why, oh boy, this, I have to like sit, you know what, I may need to move because the sun is coming in. And can I tell you guys something? I'm a little off subject right now, but I moved my office. So as you guys know, my office was in like this really beautiful like sunroom area in my house. And I had all my plants and all my things. But like, I'm so weird. Like, am I the only person that like, I like to like rearrange my furniture often. I like to like change the paint on my walls and like, and I have like all these like empty bedrooms and stuff in my house. So I took one of my bedrooms and I turned it into my office. So like I'm in a really fresh headspace because I changed my environment and I just love stuff like that. Is anyone else like that with like moving furniture around or like just changing things up, especially around the house? I just love it. I move furniture like I could be my own moving company. You redecorate a lot. Hey, you know what? It's fun. I don't care what anybody says. I love just freshening up the vibe and the energy and the space because it makes a difference. It calms you, it rejuvenates you. But here's the other thing, guys. Back to, I was talking about the meal planning. If you find yourself constantly, hey Margie, if you find yourself constantly overeating, or if you find yourself constantly like missing meals for hours and hours and hours, and then, oh, you're making kale chips in the air fryer today, that sounds fantastic. But if you just find yourself falling into these patterns where you end up making these like mistakes and you keep making the same mistakes over and over and over again, like you have to break it down and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Because guys, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. And some of you are driving yourself insane. How many of you feel like you have, your brain is like you got every tab open on a computer? And like, you know, when your computer's got all these tabs open and then you hear the fan kick on and your computer starts overheating, how many of you is that happening to your actual brain? You're overthinking and you're worrying about things and you're concerned about things and you feel defeated and you're frustrated and you're upset, but you want to do better and you know that you can. But guess what? Things are going to get better with practice, with effort, and with time. And I need you guys to understand that you can persist in overcoming obstacles. You can persist in overcoming obstacles, but the most important thing that I want you guys to get out of this today is, if you get nothing else out of this video, I want you to get this one key thing. This is the main thing I want you guys to get out of this. You have to allow yourself to pause when you make mistakes, when things don't go the way they're supposed to go, and when you have a setback with your fat loss. I need you to if you're going to overanalyze something, overanalyze that. Why did this happen? Why did this happen? And I mean this sincerely. I know I got a lot of overthinkers in here. You guys know who you are. In a month, I haven't seen any results yet. I have to be patient with myself. And you also have to remember how you measure results. If you didn't take your baseline photos and measurements and did all of your measurements, did your baseline progress photos, like you could be experiencing changes that you're not seeing because you're not measuring it properly, if that makes sense. Because what gets measured gets improved. Please do not go by the scale alone. It is not a suitable, it's not suitable. It's not suitable. But my point is, hang on, friends. All right. My point is, if you are going to overanalyze something, I want you to overanalyze what went wrong and how can I learn from this? What went wrong and how can I learn from this? What went wrong and how can I learn from this? Because that is the difference between like accomplishing nothing and accomplishing everything. And I know that sounds really black and white, but it's so true, because if you're in a fixed headspace and you're just like, dang, this sucks, man, dang it, I can't do this. Like, this is too hard, right? You could say that. Or you could be like, what can I grow? How can I learn from this? I seem to be making the same mistake over again and over again. Why is that happening? And you got to detach the emotions from it. And I know that's really hard for us as women to not want to beat ourselves up and get all in our feelings and just feel so defeated and sad. And, you know, if you got to cry through it, if you need to scream, I mean, guys, we have those moments. That's what you're working on for this upcoming week, and that's awesome. Poetry girl, exactly. I'm up on the scale, but it did not let me get me down. Just moving forward. Giving up is not an option, and that's such a positive headspace. But I think it's so important, my friends, to say, you know what? What went wrong? Like, where did I go wrong? That's where you grow. That's where you grow. And you have to challenge yourself mentally, asking yourself, well, why did that happen? Because, for example, and I tell my clients this all the time, so when you're following one of my programs, it is in your best interest to not drink alcohol on one of the programs, right? And life happens. We're all grown. If you choose to indulge, that's on you. But I tell my clients, alcohol is probably just one of those things that's really straightforward to give up. Now, that being said, I tell my clients, you know, let's say they're going out to a dinner or a celebration and they're on their plan and they're planning to not drink. This is what I tell them. I say, you have to go into that environment with the mindset that says, it's not happening. It's not happening. Not happening. Not happening. Not happening. You have to tell yourself it's non-negotiable. You can't go into it being like, oh, well, what do they have? Or, oh, this is a nice cocktail. Oh, or what are you drinking? Or what are you having? Or, oh, that looks good. When you go out to eat, when you have health goals, you need to go in there very assertive. I encourage you to look at the menu ahead of time. I encourage you to order first. You guys have probably heard me say that before, but it's so crazy because if you hear and see what other people are ordering and you kind of just have that go with the flow mindset versus the this is what I need to do for me mindset, and you do you if that's what you want, cool. But like, this is what I need for me. Like, you have to be stubborn and holding it down and drawing really clear boundaries for what you need and what your body needs. And again, guys, make the best decisions for your life. Do what you want. But I always prepare my clients when they deviate from just what their regular plan is going to be. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about today when we're talking about mindset for success is We need to stop comparing ourselves to other people. Who here can honestly say that sometimes you feel threatened by other people's success? I know I've been there. You see someone killing it, and instead of being inspired, your first instinct is like you feel threatened, or maybe it might make you feel a little insecure, or maybe it might make you feel inadequate in some way. You guys know what I'm talking about? Have you ever felt inadequate, like scrolling on the internet and you see someone's progress, or maybe you know someone who's crushing it with their goals, and you might be like, dang, like, and you might feel threatened, or maybe you might feel jealous, or maybe it triggers your insecurities. Guys, if you start having those feelings, I encourage you to look at other people's success as proof that it's doable. And I encourage you to look at other people's success as a source of inspiration, not a source of competition, not a sort, like, that's great for them. That's great for them. And that person put in a lot of work, probably a heck of a lot more than you or I know or realize. And you don't know what that person had to do, or what battles they overcame and what they did to get there. And I say all of this because yes, you need to work a meal plan. Yes, you need to work a training plan. Yes, you need to work your macros and your calories, and you need to work those things. But at the same time, you have to be working on your mind. You have to be working on your mindset. And that's the beauty of one-on-one coaching, because when I'm working with you side by side, like, I get in your brain. I really talk to you about and listen, like, well, what's going on? Well, why do you feel that way? Well, how about we try this instead? Or, and I really pride myself in getting to know my clients, what makes them tick, what their triggers are. What can I say to encourage them? When do I need to be tough on you? When do I need to be empathetic and gentle? And this whole relationship with your mind is one of the most underrated element of success with weight loss, because, like, yes, you need to follow a nutrition plan. Yes, you need to follow a training plan. And, like, that's all important. But, like, that peace of mind of feeling understood, of feeling in your bones that this is doable, that this makes sense for your life, that this isn't, yes, you want to be challenged and stretched, but you don't want to be stretched so far to a level that it's unsustainable for your life and it makes you feel just like it's just not going to be a good fit. Does that make sense? Amira says, I've lost so much weight following your tips, but I gained it all back when my depression relapsed. Now I'm the heaviest I've been. So first of all, I'm really sorry that you have been dealing with a depression relapse. I've been there. I know how awful that can be. But this is an excellent opportunity to grow. This is an excellent opportunity to improve. And this is a wonderful opportunity to understand yourself better, instead of being like, oh my goodness, I'm ashamed of myself. I'm not where I want to be. Amira, instead I encourage you to be like, you know what? How did I cope with that depression? What did that look like? What can I do instead to improve? Like, how can I make that real? Like, I mean that, like, because I can make suggestions and I can tell you what to do, but it's going to come down to your daily habits. And if you're serious and you really want to heal from the inside out, I encourage you to work on these things. And I would love to coach you. Again, I may not be the best solution for you, but I do a lot of work with women in this area. And, like, there's a fine line between my coaching and therapy. Obviously, you guys know I'm not a therapist, but there's an element of my coaching that feels very therapeutic. And if you feel that you would benefit from having a coach to go in depth and discuss these things, and really support you, really hold you accountable, really create a program that's going to make sense, like make actual sense, that's doable, that makes you feel full and satisfied, that makes you feel like it's food that you like, that you enjoy, that you can manage. I would love to coach you. There is an extension on my coaching winter sale for 50% off. And like I said, I extended this because like I said, I have like 1 to 2 spots left, and I know that the right people who need my support are going to be brought to me, and perhaps that might be you. But here's the thing, girl, like you can't look back. You can't look back. Instead, one of the best things you can do is focus on gratitude. Girl, you are here. You are alive. Like, you are still here. You woke up today. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I guarantee you, you probably have clean water. I guarantee you, you have a bed. You have a roof over your head. You have clothes on your back. You've got to really boil it down to a foundation of humility and gratitude. Because when you like, and I said this in my weekly Zoom call with my New Year's challengers. I said to the group, I said, it's so humbling when you start a fat loss journey and you take those photos and you're looking at your body and you're like, oh, good God. It's humbling, right? It is so humbling. But there's beauty in being humbled. When humility is the foundation of your fat loss journey, and you can step into this headspace that says, like, you know what? One day at a time, I'm going to do the best that I can do. I'm going to take it just a day at a time. I'm going to show up. I'm going to do the best that I can. I'm going to go to bed, and I'm going to do it again tomorrow. Like, guys, that humble headspace where, you know what, maybe you feel silly lifting like the weights that you can lift in the gym because they're light, but guess what, like that's okay. Like just do what you can where you are. So Francisca says, I bought your book, Unlock Your Macro Type, after coming across my videos about imbalanced hormones. I started following the reset. You're an endomorph with insulin resistance, and you lost 10 pounds in 3 weeks. What? That is amazing. I'm going to screenshot. I need to screenshot that. Girl, that is so cool. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, friends. So I have to get doing some stuff here, but again, check out my winter coaching sale, 50% off. You can start it at any point that you wish. It is so much savings, you guys. And if you're really ready to work on yourself, you guys know what I'm saying? Like, you're ready to work on yourself. You don't want to keep falling into the same ruts and the same, if you just don't want more of the same, you know what I'm saying? Like, guys, like I really want to see you guys move past these things. So I love you all. Have an amazing Saturday. And guys, thank you just for welcoming me back to YouTube, because as you guys know, your girl hasn't been on here in quite some time, and I've experienced a lot of burnout. I've experienced a lot of burnout in the last year and a half. I would say halfway between 2022 and through the end of 2023 have been like the hardest year and a half of my entire life. Some of you may know that, some of you may not. And it's been really hard for me to show up on here when I'm not okay, if that makes sense. So I'm healing, I'm working on myself, and I just appreciate this community. I love you guys so much, and thank you for allowing me to guide you. Thank you for allowing me to just help you, because I'm really good at this. I'm really good at this, and I do enjoy this, and I just love feeling connected to you guys, and just thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. This was fun. This was fun. let's do this again. Let's do this again. I really enjoyed this. I really missed this. And I just need to be connected with you guys so badly. I really, Lord willing, I really want to do some live events this year. So that's going to be on my prayer list. And take care, everybody. Have an amazing Saturday.